Good morning.
We're going to do what kids do. Go over. Good morning. That's what I'm talking about. I'm Reverend Dr. Suzi Schadle. I'm the minister here at Suncoast Center for Spiritual Living, and I am so glad that you're here with us today. We've been talking about seeds and weeds. Not wheat, but weeds in the plural. Okay? So, did anyone not get your seeds yet? If you didn't get seeds yet, raise your hand. We have seeds for you. We've got a few folks who didn't get their seeds. We're talking about planting seeds and nurturing them into growth. So, last week we focused on preparing the soil of our soul and pulling the weeds that might be in that soil from their roots so that we don't allow them to grow back. And this week we're going to focus on planting seeds of our awakened desire and intention so that we can nurture those into full blossoming of experience. Robert Collier taught us this. Plant the seed of desire in your mind and it forms a nucleus with power to attract to itself everything needed for its fulfillment. It's amazing how that works. We plant that seed in mind and we give it attention and affirmation and nurturance, and pretty soon everything is attracted to it to support its fulfillment. It's the law of the garden and it's the law of life. It's the law of creation. So that's something we can practice together and make sure that we get really super good at it. And guess what? The reality is you're already really good at it. It's just that a good deal of the time we're unintentional and unconscious about it, so we end up with weeds instead of plants. So we're going to focus on blessing the weeds on their journey elsewhere, back to the no-thingness from which they came, and we're going to focus on the seeds that we intend and the beautiful, magnificent gardens that we're going to grow individually and collectively. So just like as Robert Collier is saying, everything that we seek is in this very secret hidden place. It's in this secret hidden place called within you. The last place that we tend to look. Good hiding place, don't you think? So everything we see is already within us. It's just like the prototype of the oak tree, and everything that's necessary for it to become a mighty oak is contained in the acorn. So the same thing is true. The inner seed of our desires and intentions lie dormant within us until we activate them. When we wake up and we choose to plant and to nurture the seed of our intention, something conscious and intentional, not accidental. And so we nurture it with our talents and our abilities and our intelligence and our creativity into full bloom, full experience, full garden. Now, Dr. Ernest Holmes, our founder, wrote, "The seeds of today are the fruits of tomorrow, and we shall be happy indeed in the morrow if the seeds we plant today are seeds of love and faith and goodwill." I don't know about you, but those are my favorite flowers. You know, those are beautiful. I mean, they're the like really big, brilliant ones. So these are some of the seeds we may be planting. Now, consciousness attracts everything that is needed. Our consciousness, our inner consciousness attracts everything that is needed for the fulfillment of our deepest desires and intentions. Our inner consciousness, it's an inside job first before it shows up on the outside. So we plant the seed in that prepared soil of our soul, and we nurture it, and then, voila, we are blessed with an opulent and gorgeous garden that almost works on my deck at home. I have beautiful elephant ears. No flowers yet, but beautiful elephant ears. So, here are some of the things that we have to do. We prepared the soil, we pulled the weeds, we've got our seeds, we've got little packets of seeds. So what we have to do first of all, though, is to get really clear on the what it is that you want to experience, the what of your intention. What is your intention? A very clear what. That's the I. Then we begin to focus our attention and affirmation on that intention. That's the A. And then we nurture and witness the unfoldment and the manifestation. That's the M. I am is the creation formula. I am. Intention, attention and affirmation, manifestation. Law of the garden, law of life. It's really simple. It's not always easy, I found, but it's really simple, right? So we just have to be clear and stick with that. According to the Gospel of Thomas, it says that if you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will bless you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you. Now that sounds like pretty harsh, you know, God's mad at us. But it's not that. If you really think about it, if we bring forth what is within us, it blesses us because we are being our most authentic. If we do not bring forth what is within us, what we do not bring forth is we do not bring forth our authenticity. And so we have destroyed who we truly are in favor of becoming someone we're not. That's what that means. So I'm voting for authenticity. Let's bring forth who we truly are and how magnificent that will be for our individual lives as well as our collective lives. Anybody else in favor of authenticity besides me? Okay, all righty then. You took out, Laurel, here we come. So I'm going to ask you to really think about this. What seeds of intention or talents and abilities or resources do you have within you that you have not been expressing and sharing outwardly? What are some of those things that you're leaving in there and not allowing to come forth? Think about that. Because it's never too late. It's never too late to do that. And it's not so much about what capabilities that you have that's the most important. What's most important is what you do with whatever capabilities, whatever gifts you've been given. It's what you do with them or what you don't do with them. You know, I was trained in music as a classical musician. So I, for the longest time, only played classical music. I literally, there's a part of me that really thought that I would be struck by lightning if I dared to play anything that wasn't classical. And so that's all I played, that's all I knew. Now, when I went to college, I have to tell you, people were not clamoring for me to whip out my flute and play classical music. It was bad enough that I didn't have long straight hair, that I had curly hair. And I didn't play guitar, I played flute, classical. Yeah, not a lot. Hey, please play your flute. Not a lot of that. So finally somebody talked me into, or else I had partied enough to lose my inhibitions, and somebody said, just whip out that flute of yours and just, play something. And so I started playing with other people, guitars and, other things, and I realized that I could actually play without the music. I could play classical music, and lo and behold, I did not get struck down by the gods of classical music. And what I discovered was that gift was also within me. I didn't have to play other people's music. I could be in the moment of creation. A lot of times I'm playing songs I've never played before. So I'm literally in the same moment of creation, creating that music as you're hearing it. And I have to tell you, there's something very powerful about knowing that Spirit is breathing through me as I breathe through that flute. So that I am the instrument through which Spirit breathes through the instrument that I play. But that wouldn't happen if I decided I had to be, I had to play Beethoven's music, I had to play Mozart's music, I had to play Bach's music. I can do that, but there's more. So whatever that is that you're holding back in your authenticity, let it loose. Let it out of there. It's like that drugstore thing. Hey, you got Sir Walter Raleigh in the can? Yeah, well, let him out. Let him out. Let Sir Walter Raleigh out of your can. And I mean that in the most spiritual of ways. So pay attention to that seed of intention and desire, that thing that keeps kind of needling you from the inside. It doesn't quite let you go. That was planted in the soil of your soul by Spirit itself. Spirit matches our passions and our desires and intentions with our talents and our intelligence and our creativity. So you know what? We cannot fail. If we but listen and pay attention, we cannot fail. So get clear, and then go for it. Let it rip. Go for it to 50 and beyond. Right? Why not? Why not? Why stay earthbound when you don't need to? Now, here's the deal though. Seed planting and garden tending requires Faith. Faith in oneself and faith in spirit itself, just faith. It requires faith to get us started and to get us to move beyond our fear of failure. I don't know about you, but I spend probably more of my life than I'd like to admit, but I spent a good deal of my life fearing failure and fearing not looking good, not being all together. And I'll tell you what, that kept me tightly wrapped for way too long. Way too long. Don't let that happen to you. Let it out. Let it out. Move beyond the fear. And here's what the fearful materialist will tell you. Don't listen too closely. If I can see it, then I'll believe it, and then I'll begin it. But then there's that's the fearful materialist. Sorry, the fearful materialist. Fearful materialist. If I can see it with these eyes, then I'll believe it, and then I'll begin it. But the faithful visionary will say this: if I believe it, then I will see it, and I will begin it. And not only that, I'll finish it. The faithful visionary. Be the faithful visionary. Kiss the fearful materialist goodbye. We don't need that. The seed of desire and intention. It's a little bit like here's another thing, we use another metaphor I know nothing about. This seed of desire and intention is kind of like a grappling hook that you throw over and then you pull yourself up to the next level of experience. It's in one of my games on my phone, so I have seen a grappling hook, so I know that much about a grappling hook. And you throw it up there and you pull yourself up. So that's what intention can do for you as we give it attention. It pulls us up to the next level of experience. With spirit and with faith over fear, we can grow our roots deep and our branches high and wide. With spirit, all things are possible. It's like that song lyric that was very popular a few years back. You raise me up more than I can be. Right? So spirit, with spirit, all things are possible. It raises me up to more than I think I can be. Because we've got the greatest partner in the world. Super gardener. Super gardener. But sometimes we can let fear stop us from even attempting to plant any seeds. We think, the thing's going to die anyway. I'm no good at this. I told myself that for years. I'm not good at this. I can kill every single plant. I'm not killing every single plant now. Only some of them. That's good. I'm making progress. After all the years. Every day I'm attempting lavender now. So, oh, yeah, baby. All right. But fear can stop us sometimes, not only in the being willing to plant the seed in the first place, but also in the process of nurturing it. Because sometimes the stages of that seed blooming don't look the way we expect them to, and we can get a little freaked out by that. It's like, wait a minute, my life is not going exactly, my garden's not going exactly the way I thought it would. For me, it was over 34 years ago, I got clean and sober. And I'm not more present in my own life. It's amazing how things can start to get clearer. It's like getting a pair of glasses that are actually your prescription. It's like, wow, I had no idea that these people were in my life, or these blessings were in my life. I couldn't see them before. So when I began to realize that my life just seemed to work better, and I suddenly was starting to get all these career opportunities, but it kind of scared me, it kind of freaked me out, because I didn't know how to do those jobs, so I was afraid I might fail at something I didn't already know how to do. And then, of course, I wouldn't look very good if I would fail. So it's like, whoa, that's scary. Scary stuff. But you know what? I was getting support for being who I truly am. I was getting support for trying new things. And so I faced that fear, and I did it anyway. I took some of those job promotions, and I learned, and I worked hard, and I succeeded. And then, guess what? More and bigger and better opportunities started to come my way, and I did the same thing. I faced the fear and did it anyway. I learned and I worked hard and I succeeded. And each time I felt scared because I'd never done that particular job before. I didn't know how to do that particular thing. But you know what? The reality is everything that we've ever done in our lives, we didn't know how to do it until we did it. It's like, oh yeah. Duh, I forgot about that. I forgot that I wasn't born knowing every single corporate job in America. You know, who was? So I did all that, and I had a very, very successful corporate career. And then one day I woke up even more. I woke up even more deeply, and I realized that here I was at the top of the ladder of success, highest ranking woman in an international company. And then I realized the ladder's leaning against the wrong wall. This is not my wall. It's my ladder, but it's not my wall. Right? So what I realized was that although I had planted and harvested an abundant and beautiful garden, it really wasn't my garden. It was somebody else's stuff that I planted in there. I hadn't really planted the seeds of my own deepest desire. And you know what? That reality, that awareness, that knowing gripped me like a vice. It would not let me go. It would not let me just pretend it didn't exist. So I figured I had a couple of choices. I could either stay in the current garden where I was and watch my spirit wither before me, because I already saw it beginning to wither, or I could walk away and in faith step into my deepest calling, which was ministry. You know, I wanted to be a priest when I was this big. You know, I've always had that call to a spiritual life, but I had managed to cover it over and pretend that it didn't exist, that it wasn't really me that was being called. And again, I felt myself being pulled and called into something that I did not know how to do. I didn't know how to be a minister. I mean, you know, I pretended, you know, made people kneel and gave me Necco wafers when I was a kid, but, you know, they didn't complain because they wanted the Necco wafers. Maybe I should bring some of those here. You guys should do whatever. But what that call, what that grip on my soul did was it meant that I had to face my deepest, greatest fear, that what if I failed at my deepest desire? You know, I don't know if I could withstand that. What if I failed at my deepest desire? Wow. You know, somehow the sting of failure didn't hurt as badly doing all those things that really weren't mine to do. It was like, it's not really me showing up anyway. Well, what if I show up fully authentic and I'm doing the thing that I desire the most and I fail at that? That was freaky, I gotta tell you. That gave me pause. But again, I had to get support and work through it, and I did say yes. I did say yes to that call. I went to ministerial school, and I graduated from ministerial school, and then I felt called to start a center. And then again, I'm going, oh my, seriously, really? You know, when does this stuff stop? I mean, I don't know how to start a church. I've started businesses, but I don't know how you start a church. And I'm like, okay, all right, I'll do it. And at that same time, I was hearing from like 3 or 4 other people who were thinking about starting churches or centers in the same area around the same time. And ultimately, it turned out that I was the only one who actually did it. I was the only one who actually went through with it. And I had to lean into faith in order to break through my fear. And I'm telling you, every step of the way, I had to, you know, I started to realize that my faith was attracting everything I needed to succeed. Because I'd think of a question, and literally the phone would ring, and somebody would say, hey, I don't know why I'm calling you exactly, but I found out about this thing, and for some reason I thought you might want to know about it. And it would be exactly the thing I was just wondering about. So it was like Spirit was guiding every step, every way, once I said yes to what was authentically mine to be and to do. And so I did start Center for Spiritual Living East Side, which is on the east side of Lake Washington across from Seattle. So I started that center, but I tend to be a little bit of a type A personality overachiever. I didn't just start a center, I also started a ministerial school. Hey, why not? You need to start something, maybe we'll do everything, right? So we did that, and in the time that I had that center there and that ministerial school, we moved 10 times in 11 years. 10 times we moved everything. All the literature you read about church growth and all the experts told me there's no way you should continue to exist. You shouldn't be able to move once or twice, let alone that many times, and continue to exist. What I woke up to was that was part of my ministry. Part of my ministry was to start planting seeds all over the east side across from Lake Washington so that lots of people could be exposed to this teaching. So I became sort of the Johnny Appleseed of spiritual living. And we started lots of things all over the east side. So, you know, you've got your little seed packets. That was my seed, to keep starting those things. And I actually realized that, in retrospect, that probably our community impacted more people that way than we would have had we stayed in one place all the time. And I'm like, oh, I get it. This is not a problem. This is possibility. This is a powerful solution. This is a good thing. So it really worked out well. But sometimes, to answer that call to plant and nurture the seeds of our deepest awakened desire, we have to face our fears. We have to look at what we think are blocks and roadblocks and make them into stepping stones rather than blocks, and move past our fears, because our fears are most of the time paper tigers. They're not real. They're stuff we make up. We make that stuff up, and then we scare the pants off ourselves. So, Dennis is hoping that, hey, could get exciting here. But you know, that question will pop up. It'll just it's like one of those pop-ups on your phone when you're doing something. Boom, something pops up and says, what if I fail? Well, all you have to do is delete that pop-up. Boom, I'm not planning on failing. Boom, get out of here. And you know what? Even if you fail, there is no real failure. At least you tried. That expands you, expands your horizons, it expands your willingness to move beyond that. And eventually, fear will flee. It will flee from you. So take a second and recall a time in your own life when you stepped out in faith beyond fear. Just think about that. Think about a time that you were willing to do that. How did that feel for you to move beyond fear? Think about it. You move beyond it. And then you planted and nurtured seeds of desire or intention, even though you feared failure. You did it anyway. You did it anyway. And remember that the seeds that you may have planted that were successful, that you nurtured successfully, remember those seeds. Remember, give them even more energy, and they will boost your faith so that you can do it again and again and again. Every time we fail or succeed, we're boosting our ability to do greater still, to be greater still. Wake up to the seeds of desire and intention that live within you. That is Spirit calling you forth, calling your most authentic being forth and saying, I don't want this world to go on any longer without you. Blossom forth. Bring it out. So prepare the soil of your soul and pull the weeds from the root. Get the whole root. Then take those seeds, sort those seeds consciously and carefully and intentionally. Don't plant every single seed that comes your way. Plant the ones that are about your deepest desire and intention. Plant those seeds. Focus on those seeds. Nurture those seeds with enthusiasm, in theos, the energy and breath of spirit, with imagination. Intensify that desire and that intention, and envision the garden fully bloomed. It's beautiful. It's magnificent. It's yours. It's you. It's us. Give it creative energy, all the creative energy you've got, including if you haven't, because you do. Give it all of your creative energy. Tap into those inner resources so that we create new experiences and expression. We bring out fully who we are. Focus and clarity. Bring it focus and clarity so that you can literally see and feel the fulfillment of this seed coming to fruition. You see and feel the benefits and the contributions that it makes, not only to you, but to all of us, to the world at large. And so I'm going to give you homework. I am the queen of homework. I'm giving you homework. This week, I want you to make a list of 5 to 7 deepest desires or intentions that you have for yourself and or for Suncoast, for this community. Make a list. Write it down. That right there gives it energy, starts to bring energy that attracts to it what it needs for its fulfillment. But what I'm going to ask you to do is, for now, keep that information to yourself. Keep it between you and spirit, actually, not just to yourself, but keep it between you and spirit, or you and a prayer partner or a trusted supporter. Do not share this information with a naysayer. That is like putting acid on your seeds that you just planted. Do not hang out with naysayers with your deepest desire information. It is not okay to share with them. It's good to have boundaries. Okay? No naysayers! So share it with a prayer partner, share it with spirit, share it with somebody that you love and trust and who loves and trusts and wants to see your magnificence come forth. You know, because sometimes naysayers get kind of icky because, you know, desire, that idea of desire gets a bad rap sometimes. You know, it's sometimes seen as selfish. Oh, you have desires? Like that's seen as dirty or selfish. That's your grandmother talking. You know, let her rest. You know? Just about anything I came up with, my grandmother was a naysayer about. So, yeah, I was not her favorite. Can't understand why, but hey, actually I do know why, but yeah, whatever. That's a whole other story. So, you know, no naysayers. You want to put in fertile soil. You want to hang out in fertile soil. So, you know, desire in and of itself is not the cause of selfishness or suffering. It's not. It's attachment to specific outcomes that become selfish or causes suffering. So desire, there's no problem with desire, Grandma. It requires faith. It requires faith for us to step into the mystery of what the outcomes will be rather than outlining what the outcomes will be. Be in the mystery, but it requires faith to step there. Spirit may envision a way greater good than we have limited vision to aspire to ourselves right in this moment. Let Spirit take you where it will, to places you've never been before. Allow Spirit to just blow your mind. Allow Spirit to guide you. And then allow yourself to be detached from specific expectations and allow yourself then to move into infinite possibilities. Because your expectations are not as big as what you can get. Infinite possibility, that's where you want to play. That's the fertile soil. Be willing to follow the pull of your deepest desires and grandest intentions. Be willing to follow those. Listen. Be arm in arm with Spirit and listen. And you will be guided into, first, the awkward zone. So plan on it. You might feel and look a little awkward. You know what? Get over it. This too shall pass. And then you get to pass into our really favorite spot, the discomfort zone. Oh, what can I do to get there? But guess what? That too shall pass, and you then move into new and expanded comfort zone. You've grown, you've deepened, you've expanded. That's the journey. That's the law of the garden. That's the law of life and creation. So blessings to you on tending your garden of awakening. Now, I ask you to begin this week not only with your list, but begin this week planting the seeds of your awakened desire. Plant the seeds in the soul of your awakened desire. Do the inner work of consciousness and catch Spirit's vision for your seeds of desire so that you get that clear what. Clarify the what, not the how, of what your seeds of desire and intention are. And then write down, next to your little list there, a vivid picture, a vivid vision of the desired experience you're wanting to have from this seed of intention. So in other words, begin with the end in mind. Have a very clear picture of what your life is going to be like when this is all fulfilled, when the garden is in full bloom. So clear what? The end in mind. And then pray and listen. Pray, meditate, listen to Spirit for the how. The how is not your job, it's Spirit's job, and it will be given to you if you stop and breathe and pray, meditate, and listen. And then embrace that I am creation formula. Intention, attention and affirmation, manifestation. Now, because this is a political time, I want you to know that we have had presidents in the past who were wise. So, and we probably will have some in the future. So there's hope. So, but I want you to hear from one of our wise presidents, because this goes, the reason I ask you to do this inner work, to do this individual work, is because it shows up on the outside of you and it impacts all of us, and so that we're all blessed by the inner work that each one of us does individually, so that as a community, we also blossom. So we have a community pea patch or garden that we all contribute to. And this is what Woodrow Wilson said. You are not here merely to make a living. You are here in order to enable the world to live more amply, with greater vision, with a finer spirit of hope and achievement. You are here to enrich the world, and you impoverish yourself if you forget the errand. Be who you truly are. Bring that authenticity of your being forth. Plant the seeds of your own awakened desire and awareness and intention, and nurture it to full bloom. We will all be blessed by that. And so I ask you to do that. Please do that for yourself and for all of us, so that we not only create a community that is vibrant, but we participate in creating a world that works for everyone. Blessings on your journey. So it is. Okay, I have some important information that I want to share with you now. And actually, Jane and Tom, will you come up here with me, too, please? And Susan, where did Susan get off to? I want you to come up also. We want to give you, Jane is the president of our board here at Suncoast. Tom is on our minister search team. And Susan is a practitioner, and it also says Tom. But I wanted these three areas of our church represented, because we have some information to tell you. An update on ministerial search and what else is happening. The ministerial search team met recently, and we had not gotten a lot of activity in terms of applications when we put our profile up on the Center for Spiritual Living website. And we extended an additional month and we got no more activity. And so what we just, to sort of give you a Reader's Digest version of this entire thing, you don't want the entire hour meeting, but what we concluded unanimously was that Spirit was giving us a sign that this was not the right time to make this decision, and that there was something more for us to do, and then to follow up with that later. And so unanimously, the search team made the recommendation to the board that we suspend the search for now, and really pay attention to what Spirit's calling us to in this moment. And so the board took that in, they took the information, and they unanimously agreed that that was the right action, that we should suspend the search for now and do what we're really called to in this now moment of creation. And so we then I met with the practitioners, and they are in full agreement that this is what we should be focused on, is that the inner work, the consciousness, and everything that we need to do to bloom this garden fully, and then offer up that garden to prospective new ministers. So with that in mind, we had some discussions and have come to an agreement that I will be staying. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to stay here now, right? And what I had discovered in my own prayer work, and then, as a light bulb went on for me, it also went on for me around all that's happening, and that is that there was this sense in my own consciousness or subconsciousness of temporariness, that I was the interim minister, and that there was a temporary feeling to that, and that it was sort of being picked up by everybody. And so I've done some real work myself in consciousness to release that temporariness and to be in the now. And
Yes.
Even ministers have to keep learning. And I really noticed that last week. There was a real shift in the energy and excitement, and I still feel it today. And so that shift in consciousness makes a big, big, big difference. So I'm here now, So I'm no longer the interim minister, I'm the now minister. How now? Wow! You know, so for now, we'll keep checking in with Spirit, and at the appropriate time, then we will move forward on reinstituting that search at the appropriate time. But we'll take that rhythm from Spirit. In the meantime, I want to say that one of the jobs of an interim minister when you first come in is to make some very substantial changes to move things forward. We've made those changes, and we're moving in good directions right now. So I don't think lots of big changes are coming. And so what I think is being called is for us to really grow those roots deep so that the branches can become high and wide, and we can really grow. So this is a stabilizing, foundational time upon which we build. And so we're building from now into the future that we intend. So we're planting the seeds right now. And I am telling you, you have my full commitment and support to make this community all that it can possibly be. And I'm asking for your commitment and support so that we are all in this together, creating a world that works in this community and a world that works for everyone beyond this community. Are you willing to stand in that?
Yes.
And we'll keep you posted along the way, and when we know inwardly and outwardly it's the right time, then we'll reinstitute the search. But for now, I'm here indefinitely. Okay, so we haven't put an end date on that. I might want to take a vacation now.
Talk to the board.
It'll be next summer when I need to go to Seattle for a Seattle trip. But I'm here until we're sure that the next thing is supposed to happen. So, and I have to tell you, I'm delighted and honored to be here and to do this with you because it feels like my community. You know, and it feels like your community.
Yes.
And I get to be a part of this. So thank you all, and I just want to get that information out to you.
Thank you.